All right, let's jump right in. For the next few minutes, think of me as your personal Spanish tutor. We're about to completely change the way you think about learning a language, so you can stop being frustrated and actually start having real conversations, like right away. So let's start with the one thing that drives every single Spanish learner crazy.
So let's tackle the big question, the one you've probably asked yourself a million times. Why does learning Spanish feel like it takes an eternity? For so many people, it's 5, 6, maybe even 7 years of classes, and they still don't feel like they can just talk. What is going on there?
Well, the problem is that we're taught to learn it like a giant dictionary. We get hit with this absolutely massive number, 90,000 words, and we try to memorize these random lists of stuff. Colors, animals, furniture. It's not just a slow way to learn. Honestly, it just makes you want to quit. And it's just not how language actually works.
But what if I told you the real secret to speaking Spanish has nothing to do with those 90,000 words? Research actually shows that the huge majority of everyday conversation, we're talking 80% of it, is made up of just 300 little words. That's it. Once you get that, everything changes.
So what this really means is that a language isn't some flat, scary dictionary. It's actually built more like an onion. It's got this small, super powerful core of words right in the middle that you use all the time, and then all the other words are on the outside layers, the ones you use way, way less. The whole point is, if you focus on that core first, you can start putting real sentences together and having actual conversations in just a few weeks, not years. You build confidence, you build a real foundation. So, you know what? Let's dive right into the absolute center of that onion and learn the first 4 words that are going to unlock everything for you.
We are about to learn 4 verbs that are literally the backbone of almost every single conversation you'll ever have. Once you master these, you've basically cracked the code for speaking Spanish. First up, we have to want, which in Spanish is querer. Now, right away, you'll see a key difference from English. In English, we just say want, right? I want, you want. But in Spanish, the word itself changes. I want is quiero, and you want is quieres.
But here is the beautiful part. It is not random. There's a really simple pattern. Verbs for I almost always end in an O, and verbs for you end in an S. And this pattern is so reliable, you can actually just drop the yo for I and the tu for you, and people will know exactly what you mean. Just saying quiero un café is perfect. This is your first huge shortcut to sounding way more natural. Okay, let's move on to our next word and see how this all connects. This is to go, or ir. And this is the single most used verb in the entire Spanish language because it's how you talk about the future. Anytime you say, I'm going to do something, you're going to use this verb. So for I go, it's voy, and for you go, it's vas.
And here is a fantastic little trick that'll make you sound more fluent instantly. So the word for to is a, and the word for the when it's masculine is el. Try saying el really fast. It's kind of clunky, right? It doesn't flow. So Spanish just mashes them together into one smooth word, al. It just makes speaking so much easier. Our third core word is to have, or tener, for when you own something. I have is tengo, and you have is tienes. And hey, look at that. That O for I and S for you pattern, it's back again. See? Your brain is literally a pattern-finding machine. And this is exactly the kind of stuff it's built to pick up on. And now for our 4th concept. This one isn't just a word. It's a little 2-word phrase that I like to call a beginner's secret weapon. It's tener que. It literally means to have to do something. It's for when you have an obligation. It's so easy. You just take the words we just learned, tengo and tienes, and you pop the word que right after them. So why is this a secret weapon? Because most beginners learn the word necesito, which means I need, but native speakers, they almost always say I have to instead. Think about it. You don't usually say I need to go, you say I have to go. Using kinetic is one of the fastest ways to sound less like a textbook and more like a real person. Okay, so now we have our 4 building blocks, but what can we actually do with them? Let's build a long, pretty complex, and totally natural-sounding sentence from the ground up, just to see how powerful these little words really are. We'll start simple, combining our first 2 words, I want, which is quiero, and to go, which is ir. Notice we use the basic form, ir, because we're saying to go, not I go. So we have quiero ear.
Okay, now let's flesh it out a bit and add a little contrast using our third word. We'll add the phrase, but you have, which is pero tú tienes.
And to wrap up the whole idea, we'll bring in our secret weapon to show the consequence. So you have to sleep. In Spanish, that's así que tú tienes que dormir. And there it is. This shows you the power perfectly. Just look at that sentence. Those 4 core ideas we learned, quiero, ir, tienes, and tienes que, they make up the entire skeleton of this whole thought. Everything else is just details that you can hang on that frame.
So what is the big idea here? What's the main takeaway? How should this change how you learn Spanish from this very moment on? Well, it really just comes down to a super simple 3-step plan.
First, you gotta focus. Stop trying to boil the ocean. Put all your energy into those high-impact core words. Second, look for patterns. Language isn't just a bunch of random rules. It's full of these little shortcuts that your brain is designed to notice. And third, build. Start putting these words together right away. Don't wait until you think you know enough. Start speaking now. Seriously, think about it. With just these 4 concepts, you can already talk about your wants, about movement, about things you have, and things you have to do. I mean, that's the foundation for thousands of conversations. And the next 4 words in the core are just as powerful. The point is, fluency isn't something that's years and years away. You can start speaking Spanish today, so go do it.